Hello, my most amazing art students. Here you can see that I've finished my whole drawing here, and I'm going to use my watercolors, and I'm going to use the black to overpaint my whole entire, I'm going to go ahead and put this up here just to keep the watercolor from getting all over my table. But I'm going to overpaint the entire drawing, coloring, and we're going to watch it resist wherever I've colored, okay? So, it took a while. I'm going to give you guys, I gave you guys the week to finish that because it did take me quite some time to fill in the whole paper. And I'm going to try to not put too much on here because I want it to dry pretty quickly. Hopefully it'll dry before I cut out my whole unicorn, and then we'll be able to put it together. I'm loving the way that looks, you guys. Looks awesome. So, and if you let this dry, you'll be able to add another layer if you want to darken it, darken the black tone in the background behind this. But notice how wherever I colored in really solidly, oh yeah, there were some blue irises in the original. I'll go ahead and post the original picture so you can look at that and kind of see the different colors they use. But I don't mind whatever colors you guys want to use. It's your drawing, but we're just going to go ahead and call that good. So there's the whole thing covered. I'm going to pick that up so you can see it painted the whole background. And then I'm just moving the little dots of black that have beaded up on top of the crayon, moving those around. Alright, okay. I'm going to call it good. I'm going to set this to the side. I'm going to grab my unicorn that I made the week before and cut it out. It's going to take a little while, so maybe you guys should put some music on. My video editing skills are not on par with other YouTubers, you know. I'm like, I just want to get the art out to you guys. I'm not really worried about fancy editing. So sorry about that. You're stuck with me. And when I use these in the future in class, like if I ever have a sub, you know, you get to see the real time of me, how slowly I cut. You know, it's interesting, in the tapestry of the unicorn, the horn is so very, very long, and you guys can do that if you want. I just find it interesting how long. I mean, it's not like unicorns are real animals and that they have something to go on, but there are narwhals that have really large horns, and those horns are super long, so I guess you could go based off of that. Who knows if the people that did the unicorn tapestries that worked on those had ever seen a narwhal. I've never seen one in person. Have you guys? I don't know. Interesting thing to think about. I'm noticing, you know, as I kind of glance over it, the picture that I have of the unicorn tapestries, there's a flower necklace around, a flower garland around the unicorn's neck. And I don't know if that's something I want to add or not. I guess I could. Well, and give that painting a little bit more time to dry before we put everything together. So that's something we can look into. I love creating lessons for you guys. It's just, I love being creative and finding new things to try out with you, because I'm loving the way that those colors are popping with the black paint over the top. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to add another layer of paint though, because it's pretty muted, pretty light gray, colored gray. So there you go. Let me get this hoof taken care of here. There we go. We're almost done. I'll show you what we're going to do with the space of white in between their other two legs. So we don't want to leave that there. It'll be a little bit awkward. So, and there we go. So I'm going to cut this all the way up here and just cut the little notch of white out of here. And then when we glue it down, we'll just glue that leg down. No big deal. So there's my unicorn. And this is it's not really a flower garland, it's a belt. It's a flowered collar, I guess is what it is. So if you guys wanted to do something like that, you could. I like having the flowers all in the background. I'm going to look at this. It's not quite dry enough, but do you see what I mean about how it's very light? I'd like to add another layer and depth of color to that background and darken it up, because I really like how the colors pop against the dark background. So I'm going to do that really quick, and then we'll go ahead, and it's going to need time to dry, but you guys get the gist of it. Once this is dry, we're just going to add our unicorn in there. I honestly am so excited to see what you guys are going to come up with your backgrounds. I can't wait to see the details of the background. I'm going to need another pan of black paint in this watercolor palette, because this one's almost gone. There we go. I just love when it's wet and a little bit darker, how the bright colors pop. I'm going to go a little slower because I know that can get dizzying. Under the document camera. There we go. Love it. Alright. So, maybe we will add a color while this dries. Okay. So, we can try it out on, our long horse that we have here, our long unicorn. So, it's got gold edges, and it kind of sits up higher on the neck. Maybe what we'll do is do this, and then add some filigree and stuff in there with some other colors. So I'm going to look at this really quick. It's got circle medallions on it. Maybe we'll do that. Okay, and then I'll go in with my black crayon, which is over here, because there's black in the middle. Actually, my bright yellow crayon. Color that in, and then go around. Oh, you know what? Kind of wish I wouldn't have done that. I'm going to take my very small paintbrush, go in with my black paint on this. You guys can use crayon. That's totally fine. I just think it'll match kind of the main drawing if I do this. I'm going to need a tissue to dry this off because that's too much water. There we go. I quite like that. So, again, add another level, another layer of that on there to darken it. Interesting, this paintbrush has been in my jar and it's bent to the one way. It's such a tiny brush, I'm going to leave it out this time. So there is the color. So if you guys want to add the color, you can do that. Now, I'm going to take this painting, and play with, and you guys didn't have to draw your horse standing, you know, you could have, let me turn down the lights so it's not so washed out. I think I like it just, I really like this area here, but it's going to get covered up. So right there, glue it down on there. I'm going to make sure and get glue on this leg that I cut so that it doesn't pop up. The way down. I'm going to move this out of the way just so I can use the table to get my lid. Bring this back. And I'm going to use the back of my hand to kind of press it down because my fingers are a little bit dirty. And not only that, I'm going to get a clean piece of paper because my table's kind of messy. Lay this down and I'm going to massage the back of the paper. My fingers are sticky from the glue stick. Massage that behind and so it sticks really nicely. So there you have it. There's the finished project. What I think would be really cool actually to finish this off all the way is to get, I don't want to use this regular Sharpie because I think the lines can be really thick, but I'll try to go very lightly and just go over your pencil lines. Maybe we could have done that before gluing it on. Like I said, it's a process. You're in it with me. So I like that, how that looks with the darker lines here. So go right on the edge. It might be good just to do this afterwards too because then you don't cut any of them off. Any of the lines off that you create. Go very, and then it's okay if you have a little bit of white on the edge of the drawing. I know you guys can do it. You guys are awesome. So, can't wait to see what you guys create. I'm almost getting done here. Tell me if you could in the comments when you submit your drawing what your favorite part of this project was. What did you like the most? I actually, one of my favorite things about this was learning all of that stuff about the unicorn tapestries and how they were made. I had no idea that it took so long, years to make, and it still takes years to hand make a tapestry, especially the ones the size of the ones that these were, 14, feet or so. There we go. I love it. Okay. Thanks for hopping on and doing some art with me. I can't wait to see your guys' projects.